And we see society following that chaotic course, this downward spiral into nothingness. And we see women losing that feminine nature to become more masculine. And the world's in chaos, and everybody's wanting to say, well, it's because this is oppressed and this is oppressed. No, it's because we're losing our identity. We're divorced from our true value. We've stripped away the meaning of what it means to be man. Gentlemen, what's going on? This is the Better Man channel, where we choose to unite ourselves with ourselves. We're not going to be separated from value. We're not going to be separated from our meaning. We refuse to be separated from our potential. America, man, the divorce rate's at 50%, give or take. People are getting divorced, and I don't want to be misleading. I'm not going to talk about divorce rates in regards to man and woman. I want to get deeper. I want to go deeper. I want to ask, are you divorced from yourself? Are you divorced from meaning? Are you divorced from value? And I believe that plays out if both genders would begin to ask themselves, am I divorced from my true capacities to be woman, to be man? Am I divorced from my true value, my true nature? Am I buying into society's agendas to be more feminine if I'm a male, or to be more masculine if I'm female? And so here's the question. Are you divorced from your true nature? And you say, well, what does that mean? I believe we live in an age today where masculinity has been gutted. It's been stripped away. And so we see kind of this hollow shell of what it means to be masculine. Thus, we see a hollow shell of what it means to be man. Man's kind of pushed to the side to be this, be that, be this. And we see a lot of men that are asking themselves, what does it mean to be a man? Where's my value? Where's my meaning? We've been divorced from our nature, and it's no wonder that we see chaos in not only our lives, on the individual, but on a larger scale in the general culture. We see up is down and left is right because no one has any value. Nobody has any identity. Nobody knows their meaning. Nobody knows their true nature. We see this in men and women, where both are kind of taught to be the opposite of what they are. Society is seeing a large divorce rate in the meaning and value of what it means to be man and woman. And we wonder why there's not a congruence where the dynamics of both can unite into what the typical marriage means, is because each person on an individual level is divorced from their true nature. You can't have two divorced people with no identity, no value, no meaning get together and magically find that. How am I going to be a compatible partner if I don't know who I am? So as men, let's begin to take responsibility and say, you know what? I'm not going to be a hollow shell of a man. I'm not going to be divorced from my masculine natures. I'm not going to be divorced from what it means to be man. I'm not going to be divorced from my values and meanings, the very biological nature and essence of what it means to be me. You're not going to strip that away from me. I'm not going to be gutted for my instincts to be more, to be the leader, to be the assertive, dominant guy when needed. And on the other end of that spectrum, we need women to begin to embody their true nature, their true value, their true meaning, and quit letting the distortions and lies of an agenda or policy remove their true value. And not in an egotistical way or manner, but we've got to start loving ourselves. We've got to start loving our true nature. And as the saying goes, I can't love anybody else if I don't love me. And I'm finding that has a more resounding truth the more I go inward to trying to find out who the hell I am. I look at my life and I wonder why I've been an addict, why I've been an asshole, why I've been a prideful, egotistical, selfish, self-centered guy. It's because I was trying to find some value and meaning. And I'm not making any excuses for myself, but when you're pushed to the side and no one has taught you what it means to be man, what it means to be strong, what it means to be dominant, what it means to take that leadership role, then you're of course going to go out there and find meaning. If you've not been taught to look inward for your value, for your meaning, if you haven't been taught to marry self so that you can be of value, then of course you're going to cling to the things, the shiny objects that come along. And I believe we live in a materialistic, consumeristic world where they're wanting to sell us the new shiny objects. They're afraid of people standing up for themselves and claiming their identity, claiming their sovereignty, because then they're not dependent upon them. They become self-dependent, self-reliant. And that's the theme of this channel, man. We want to find value and meaning in self. We don't want to have to rely or depend upon anyone else. If you're anything like me, I've did that for too long. I've been that entitled asshole that expected from here to there. Come on, prove to me, give me meaning, give me value, give me direction. And when you accept that, readily accept that, blindly accept that, you become a slave, man. You become that sheep that's easily herded and maneuvered into their thoughts and their ways and their ideologies. And we see men waking up from that and wanting to remove themselves from that marriage, right? We're in that holy matrimony marriage to society and their agenda. We want to divorce from that, begin to unite with what we are, our value, our meaning, our purpose. Who the hell am I? My values as a man. What does it mean to be a masculine man? In my subjective scenario, what does it mean to be man? What is the value in my life as a man? I'm a father. So first and foremost, I need to be that role model to him. And there's going to be different variables for each person. There's not one size fits for all. And I think that's where we get kind of confused, especially if you watch videos on self-help with the step 1, step 2, step 3, to be more alpha, to be more man. I get where they're trying to go with that, but it's not a one size fits all. We're all in different roles. We have to find our own value and meaning, and that takes a little soul searching. That takes a little hard questions of who am I? What are my values? What is my meaning as man, and how do I integrate that into my subjective life? And so it takes that inward thing, and that's the theme for this channel for this year, is going inward, right? We've for too long been that hollow shell. So why go inward where there's nothing really in there but disgust and letdown and hopelessness? That's a lie that's been sold to you, and we've bought it for so long that we just believe we're this empty shell that needs to be filled with external things. And when we're always looking for the external to fill us up, we're always going to be a slave and dependent upon others. We're taking back our life. We're saying, hell no. Your ignorance, it's played out. I'm going to find value in myself. I'm going to get married and united to myself, and then we'll see, hopefully, maybe when men begin to explore their true nature and women begin to take back their true nature, we'll see a convergence where those two can dynamically play out, right? There's this interplay between them like it's supposed to be. But first and foremost, let's take the role as men. I'm not concerned with anybody else right now. As a man, as men, what can we do to take back our power, our authority? Right? Let's find our true nature. Let's get strong mentally, physically, economically, socially. Let's get strong. Let's take back who we are and say, hell no. We're not going to accept your narratives. We're not going to be those empty, hollow, and shallow men. We're going to be men of depth that begin to explore our nature. And that's the deal here. It takes a journey. And I don't think in society that we're taught to go on that journey, right? We see other cultures where they take pride in masculinity. They have these rituals that send their youth out on that journey, like a literal journey. We're going to send you out into the woods and for 3 days, and you're going to have to combat the wilderness and kill an animal and bring it back. We see these rituals where the young youth, young teenagers are sent out to become those men, to explore their masculinity, to be united with that masculine nature. And that's what we're missing in this culture, a marriage to self, a marriage to that masculine identity, that ritual that moves us from boy to man. We're missing out on that, and we're seeing a shallow, hollowed out, carved out, gutted, formless man that's been removed of his masculine nature, that's been removed with that competitive edge to be assertive, that's been removed from the competitive edge to dominate and to live and lead. And we see society following that chaotic course, this downward spiral into nothingness. And we see women losing that feminine nature to become more masculine. And the world's in chaos, and everybody's wanting to say, well, it's because this is oppressed and this is oppressed. No, it's because we're losing our identity. We're divorced from our true value. We've stripped away the meaning of what it means to be man, of what it means to be woman, and we're in this chaotic downward spiral where the collapse of our very culture is very close. We need men to become men. We need women to become women, and in doing so, we begin to find our true natures. We begin to find value and meaning on that individual level, so that maybe, just maybe, we can unite them in a compatible partnership that function and doesn't end in a literal divorce between man and woman. Marry yourself, man. I know that sounds a little silly, but it's time we get to know self. It's time we get married to that masculine nature, get married to the man within, get to know who he is on a subjective level, on a general large-scale level as well, but focus on what it means for me in my particular situation to be a man. Go to work on that. Be proud of that. Like the other cultures that are proud to be men, they're strong. Let's take that back. Let's get that back and not be that empty man, but a man filled up with who he truly is. Filled with value and filled with meaning. I love you guys. You'll hear from me next episode.